Good day. Wonderful. Rex has come in. Good morning, Rex, or afternoon. No, it's still morning there. Beautiful. All right. So we're just going to do another beautiful reset. Thank you, Paul. That was exceptional. Celebrating everything with Rex Sikes. This is a powerful morning as always. Rex and the crew are here. 8:30 a.m. Pacific. You take it to your wonderful time zone. And we offer for your opportunity today to click on that link, bring in that newsletter also from Rex's www.rexsikes.com. So much opportunity. It comes into your wonderful e-box via email every single morning. You get to read it. And if you're able, come on in here. And even if you're not, make sure you read it and then invite yourself to find one new thing that you can do today to continue to change your life. And we'll be changing that link very shortly. We'll put it in the beautiful chat as well. And just invite yourself into this exploration. I just have to pop off very shortly. So thank you so much, Paul, for taking the helm, and welcome, Rex. All right, Paul, I'm not sure, Deanna, if you're able to come and help man the helm here, or perhaps it's just me with the silencing on the back end here. So I just wanted to make sure. Thanks,
Of
Paul.
course, of course, of course, of course. Absolutely. I was just sending a message to someone, a friend of the organization, let's put it that way, about the state of the replays, doing a little maintenance on the room. But yeah, we've had a really good discussion about this because, and I shared really twice, really about the ability you can get to switch your thinking through practice and repetition. It's an amazing thing when you realize that we can attract negative thoughts. But how do we replace them? How do we take charge? The more practice you do and the more access you realize you have to those in your own mind, let alone in media, you can actually make that change. And even when you have an occasional downward spiral, they don't last as long. They're not as serious. They don't affect you as much because you've practiced and you've got a well worn path to your greatest, most wonderful feelings. And the resources to do so, you're in the middle of them right now. Hey, Slajan, what's going on with you, man? What's percolating in your beautiful brain?
Thank you, my beautiful Paul, and amazing to have the real Canadian spirit here. And I'm really enjoying this session of moderation and as well something that is going on there. So I would like to mention something, and this is something that it's unnoticed in the sense that become the feeling that you have in the when you don't have right. I'm just going to go on that side because you just mentioned here, and I'm glad that the Rex is here. I don't know how he found these details, but Rex actually wrote here. Then you will do speak and have right, and let's say that there's. I'm going back, going to the end of the article, and as you mentioned that appreciation repeated consistently for long enough and you become it. So repetition and that consistency make that you right. And that's something very interesting. I just experienced today because I have some legal issue and so I was providing some documents. There was one with a few things, attorney, notary, and all these things together. But what happened is I have that feeling inside that at one moment there's going to be change, and and that writing. I'm just going to go back to the article. It's very interesting how it has been put, and just going here to find it. Then you will do speak and have right. What and this is something that I experienced exactly how was mentioned, except that was reversing side that I experience. So that right feeling that you know that is going to be whatever direction is going to take, is at least at what actually is like being repeatedly consistent in something doing. That feeling is becoming, let's say, so like so it's not a warning, because you know that even that happen, I was just repeating consistent steps that didn't actually really affect condition and result. And that's something that is very interesting, because at least that's is actually outstanding about passing every single day. That's outstanding experience that is going in all scholar dimension. And this is not just the feeling, the judgment, that let's say that they call that in Japanese harage. So it means that you have the feeling what is going to happen next, and then most of the time it's going to just rebounce your effort, or it's going to, let's say, slightly change expression or thoughts, and you know that is going to happen. And how to become actually, let's say, prepared for that, because preparedness is not that feeling, at least at mind, it's not the feeling that of the completion, but grabbing that feeling and having it is probably the biggest ritual experience that I can say I have in it, because it's like announcement of readjustment that I have to conduct. And I can expand on that side, but maybe actually someone else would like to maybe enlighten me about that feeling. Ilden, might to Paul, and love and blessing to all of you.
Thank you, Slajan, so much. And I want to welcome all the beautiful people who are in the room right now. Hey, John and Renee, Juliana, Joanne, she's awesomeness and abundance, and our friend Sabine. Thank you so much for being here. This is awesome. If you are new to the room, welcome, welcome. This is an amazing community. We are in Celebrate Everything, and this is a powerful conversation, because you know what? Just stop whining and complaining and all those other things. What we think is what we become. So, this is a powerful opportunity. Please go to www.gratitudeactivator, and we'll put that in the chat line. Apologize, we don't have it in there already. And we're just expanding our consciousness. We're expanding our lives. We're deciding today how we can truly get control, live life on our terms. We do it repeatedly and consistently with the most positive action. And we've learned powerful tools. Thank you, Paul. Powerful tools to do just that so easily with the right consistent action. And we invite you to come on in, get to know Rex, get to know all his great works that he has, get to know us. We'd love to be connected to you. And the community is here every single day at 8:30 a.m. And it's just truly transformative. And so this is a wonderful opportunity to get that richness. And so we'd love to learn a little bit about you. Please share in the chat line if you're connected to socials and you love to come up and share. We'd love to hear from you as well. So this is a wonderful opportunity. And we are just talking about this piece and moving it forward, expanding our direction. So I just want to check in with Rex and say, Rex, are you able to come off and share? I'm not sure if you're able to at this juncture. Just flash your exceptional mic when you are able. So for all of us, I just wanted to go back into one other interesting section when you click on that link, and I hope you've done that already now, is to understand this. If you focus more on what you don't want, more of your time, but you wish and you hope and you pray for things to improve, understand this. It won't get better until you stop what you are presently doing and begin directing your thoughts to who and what kind of person you want to be. So I shared a little bit earlier about the opportunity to do, for me, a personal inventory today, to observe myself and really reflect and see how many wonderful positive thoughts can I generate today. What kind of new excitement, new gratitude, new richness can I bring into my life? And if I start to feel perhaps, oh my gosh, I got so much to do, or I have this or that to do, just stop. Take a breath, look around, ground into, as what I do is ground into Mother Earth, and I align to my higher purpose, and I go, wow, what is something great, what is new and good in this moment? Take another breath, bring it in, and be present. And I'm going to focus on this action. I'm going to focus on these present positive things. And I'm going to capture how many wonderful positive things I'm able to generate today. Isn't that an interesting way of looking at our lives versus just focusing on the negative or those we are not our thoughts? So I just wanted to honor that piece. That's what I'm doing today. And I love to hear more from all of you. If you're not on stage, put it in the chat. What are you going to do today? What is that one amazing opportunity that maybe it's calling you, something that you can think of? And John, sure, we'll bring you up. Thank you so much. And thanks, Rex. Please go ahead. Thanks, Rex.
Lovely share, lovely share. I mean, people ought to understand, that if you're not aware of something, you're not aware of it. It's outside of your consciousness. You can't know it. For example, if you're facing one direction and something happens behind you and you can't hear it, and you can't see it, and you can't smell it or taste it or any of those things, it happens and you just don't know it. If you've got something on your face and there's no mirror or window to see your reflection, that's going to be on your face. Other people will see it, but you won't. You're just not aware of it. And for most people, they're just not aware of the fact two things. One is that they are not their thoughts, they are the thinker of the thoughts. In other words, they are the presence, the consciousness, the power, the chooser of the thoughts, but they don't understand that. So what happens is this mechanism just runs on and on and on and on, and they identify with it. And so that's how we have self image or self esteem issues or self loathing or self love or whatever, is because of how we identify with these thoughts. Thoughts are just mental packets of energy that are tied in our container to our electrochemical impulses, so that when we have a particular thought, it's actually anchored to a reaction in the body. So if it's a negative, stressful, terrible thought or experience that we have, then these chemicals are released. And because of that, we feel bad. Our system gets constricted and restricted and suppressed, our immune system, everything else. And we tend to have more negative thoughts as a result because they perpetuate. It's a loop. If, on the other hand, you have a positive experience and positive thoughts, you tend to feel open. It releases those chemicals that allow you to feel well-being, and you feel healthier, happier, more optimistic, and those two, you produce more positive thoughts. Well, if you understood that you have a choice, one makes you sick or sad or angry or frustrated or ineffective, and less capable of thinking clearly, acting clearly, expressing yourself and moving through the world in a wonderful way. And then you have those thoughts that allow you to feel better, think clearer, be healthier, happier, and have more fun in life. You would think that everybody said, well, obviously I'm going to choose the good thoughts. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose to think positive. But you have people who are unaware that they think negative about themselves or whatever, and they don't bother to notice what they're doing. So they don't know that, for example, there's something on their face. So they don't know the negative thought is the one that's affecting them because they don't monitor their thinking. They just think they're thinking. They just experience their thinking. They just react. They just allow it. And they just do whatever comes their way without deciding, I'm going to take charge of this. So the first thing you need to do is either go, I'm going to eliminate the negative thoughts, or I'm going to accentuate the positive thoughts. And what Sandra just shared was, the question, what is good and new? If you think about that for a second, if you spend your day asking what is good and new, 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 what's good right now, what's good right now, what's good about this, what's good about this, even in situations that there might not appear to be something good, or what's new, what is something good and something new, something enjoyable, something delightful, something that I can do, something that would put a smile on my face, you know, if you were to think that, or what could I be grateful for? How am I blessed? And how many different ways can I find myself, you know, uh, paying attention to positive feelings or positive thinking, you you direct your mind to a class of thoughts, a class of feelings, a class of experiences that allow you to feel better. And the more that you do it, the more that you practice it, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the easier it becomes. And the longer you do it, the better you get, the easier it becomes, the more it becomes habit until eventually it is a habit. It is the default. You've changed it. But if you don't decide to change it, you won't change it. If you don't put the in to change it, you won't. Now, the thing that I said earlier about eliminating the negative, there are all these people who think, I have to get rid of all my negative beliefs. Well, good luck with that one, because beliefs are like grapes. They cluster. It's not just that there's one belief out there that if you change that belief, everything changes. Because they're clustered around a whole bunch of things that support each other. So if you believe you have to get rid of all of your beliefs, consider that for a second. That in and of itself is a belief. I must do this is a belief. In order for me to behave in a different way, there's a cause and effect. If I get rid of all my beliefs, then my life will be better. It's a belief. What if your life could be better in spite of those beliefs? What if, even though you held those beliefs, that they served you at some time in your past to protect you or to enable you or to whatever, but they were of service to you. They were part of your process of growing and evolving. They're not horrible. They're not bad. They're not sabotaging you, because all of those other attributes you give them, or the power that you give them, is part of the belief structure that could be holding you back. So if you go, I have to do this, or else, you know, I will suffer. Think about that for a second. But yet, that's how people approach things. You can find your beliefs and you can change your beliefs. I write about it in my book as well. You can take care of them as they come up, because guess what? They're going to come up every time you confront something that you want to do that you don't feel you can, or that you want to do that you feel held back, or you want to do and it doesn't work out the way you think, or you hope for results but you don't get them. Your beliefs are coming up constantly. Now you don't have to dig through them to find them. When they come up, be aware, and then choose whether or not that's something that you want to give power to, give attention to, give energy to, or whether you would rather shift it or change it or give power or energy and attention to something else that would better serve you in the moment. Yet people complicate everything. They make, well, that's easier said than done. Or here's the one that is amazing. Something happens and they go, now what else could go wrong? What else could go wrong? Think about that for a second. How about what else could go right? How often do you ask that? Well, that happened. How much more good can I stand today? How much more delight can I have? How much more love can I find? How much better can I feel? How much more healed might I be? But they go, oh, now what? Now what? What else could go wrong? Oh, crap. So understand it is always, 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 always a choice. And if you don't notice what you're doing, you'll keep doing it until the day comes when you notice it. And if you've ever been a parent or a sibling or a child, there are times in our lives when we're just not capable or able or willing, or whatever you want to say, to notice what's going on until that moment when we are. So someone can tell you the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it falls on deaf ears and blind eyes, and you know it just doesn't end until you're ready to receive it. And how do you become ready to receive it? when you're not ready to receive it. By practicing openness, by practicing receptivity, by being available, by allowing the energy to come to you, and not pushing and not resisting and not fighting and not doing all those things that would otherwise possibly. So make yourself available, and understand that when the blog today, for example, says your thoughts are powerful, choose which ones you're going to emphasize, because whatever ones you choose are what you're getting. And if you can't tell what you're choosing, all you have to do is look at your life. Look at the results that you're getting. Look at your experience. Look at what you have or what you don't have. So bring awareness to what you do, and then practice that awareness, and then practice focusing on the thoughts that you want to think. Practice stopping. If something comes up that you don't want, then stop it. Just stop. Go pause, cancel, whatever you want to do, and practice that. You only get good at the things you practice. If you don't practice it, you won't get better at it. You can have $100 bill in your pocket. If you don't know it, you don't have any spending power. The power you have comes from your ability to spend that currency. And in this case, the currency is positivity. It's the energy. It's the power that you have to shape your circumstances by taking control of your thinking, as opposed to having circumstances determine how you're going to feel or how you're going to think or how you're going to be. It's choice. It's awareness. And only you can make that choice for yourself. So if you start your day with what's good today, what's new today, what's lovely today, what's delightful today, how much fun can I have, what am I grateful for, how much appreciation can I express or find, those kinds of things, you're going to find that your day is qualitatively different than if you do otherwise. I have said for well over 40 years, some people get up in the day and they look for smiles, and other people look for frowns. It's just the way it is. And if you typically look for frowns and you can begin to look for smiles, find out how your world changes. And with that, I pass the mic. And I want to thank Paul and Sandra and Sajan and Deanna and the moderators here who serve the room and serve you, and who take such good care of all of us. And thank those who come and go and who share. And I encourage anybody to share and to invite people to come and join us, each day whenever you can. Bring a friend with you. Don't show up just alone if you can. Come with somebody else. And with that, I pass the mic.
Thank you, Rex. I just want to jump in and just say, oh, just wonderful. Thank you so much for your richness, you're just this beautiful humility of yourself you give to everyone just from your heart. And I want to just say, I so appreciate you. I'm so grateful. And the one thing that was uniquely, wonderfully yours that I want to honor, and you don't share this enough, I feel, is the amazing programs that you have. And I'm volunteer here because I come with an open heart, and I just love the transformation that I've brought into my life, that I'm continuing to grow and develop, and all these beautiful things, and the work that I do to transform and create pathways of change. And Rex, your programs really truly are just so exceptional. And one thing that I wanted to just add to your exceptional share earlier was the trademark when you started the whole directed questions. And I think as we set ourselves in our intentions for 2024, one of the most powerful, powerful, powerful things that I learned from you was the directed questions, and really, truly, intentionally waking up, setting my mind, becoming resourceful, how soon, all these beautiful things. I don't know if you wanted to get into that or how people can learn about it, but that was the single most powerful, practical, impactful, significant change that I had was when I truly understood this, and with the right consistent action, I brought that into my world. So I don't know, Rex, if you can share with everyone, because it really is so transformative. If you're able to share, thanks, Rex.
To the extent that I would say, if you do mind design, my program, mind design, or the NLP, Ultimate, the NLP Home Study course, or you get the Attitude Activator. That the Attitude Activator uses directed questions essentially to direct your attention and to kind of help you do things, to teach you a process that you learn by relaxing into the process and doing it repeatedly. But the other programs, are those that actually kind of go into the whole core and the methodology and how to transform. It is truly amazing. There was so I appreciate you saying that, because it is absolutely powerful. I watch people, for close to 50 years, and I should say 50 years actually. You know, I am so used to saying 40, I forget that you add years. But the point is, I've watched so many people around the globe transform their lives in powerful, positive, and delightful ways that they otherwise may not have done using directed questions. And I figured when I named it that back in the 80s, the idea would be that it was pretty clear. Questions direct your mind. If I say, "What are you going to do today?" You go to the class of experiences or things you think you're going to do. You can say, "Well, I don't know yet," or "I haven't decided yet," but you don't go, I was abducted by a UFO," or "I like baseball." Your brain knows how to answer the question, and it's not about finding an answer. It's about having the experience. That's the power of directed questions. That's what everybody misses when they paraphrase my work, or you know do their offshoots of the work and call it something else. It's not about having an answer. You can, but the answer, the least important thing. It's the question that starts the exploration. It's the question. So, can we put a man on the moon? Kennedy asked Werner von Braun, was a question. It was, and von Braun's answer was, or he said, what would it take to put a man on the moon? Werner von Braun said, the will to do it. He didn't say nuts and bolts and rocket, fuel and everything else. He said the will to do it. So understand that questions direct you to what you can be capable of, what you can explore, what you can find, how you can feel, how you can think, how you can be different from where you are right now. And they're so incredibly powerful. And people want the answers. And that's where they miss. They think the answer is important. You need to be able to get over the answer to your question and allow the question to inform you. Because when you ask a question, it can be answered in maybe 100 different ways. And yet somebody will say, well, I want this, I'm going to use this answer or that answer. That's fine. But I hope what I'm trying to say is there's an exponential power in the questioning process. And it's far more important. It's why Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. The knowledge is what you know, but the imagination is where you can travel to, and our knowledge only is added to because of our imagination. What do I have to do to make this better? What how can I find myself feeling wonderful in this moment? Or how many different ways, can I smile and feel good about myself this morning? I mean, you may not know the answer to the question, and that's fine. That's the whole point. It's not about knowing the answer, like what's the capital of Arizona. That's not what you want. That doesn't tell you anything. It's the capital of Arizona is X, and then you're done. But if you don't know the answer, your brain will search for it. Your brain will continue to look for it in the same way it will look for the name of the movie that you can't remember. You go, oh, that movie. Oh my God, what is it? What is it? What is it? You relax and you allow your brain to continue, and the brain will say, oh, it was this. But it isn't. And again, it isn't having that movie title that's important when it comes to your personal growth. It's the search that's important. We call it transderivational search. It means it searches through your experiences, it searches through your memories, your associations, your feelings, everything good, everything not so good, to come up with something. And the reason you say that is, if I said, you know, um, And it's interesting because some people, when they think about themselves, they think about all the bad times, and other people think about all the good times. And some people, when they think about doing something, think about all the things that could go wrong. And other people, when they think about doing things, think about all the other things that could go right. So what you want to do is to find the things that are right and are possible and are good and are loving and are kind and are all those wonderful things that help enrich your life and improve your life. And it's through the power of asking yourself questions. I've been teaching this again since like 1980 or so, and the key, maybe even earlier than that, frankly. But the 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 point is that when you when you understand it and you begin doing it and you make it a habit for yourself, your life just absolutely qualitatively changes. And I encourage you to get the programs. Like, I encourage you to get My Design or the Ultimate. The reason for that is, yes, I can give you little tidbits here and you can go off and practice them on your own. But there's a difference when you immerse yourself and you actually study it and you actually get involved with it and you actually work with the material as opposed to just going, oh, I heard Rex talk about this on Clubhouse, I'm going to give it a try. You can do that. You certainly can do that. But it's like putting your toe in the baby pool versus diving into the deep, of the pool and actually immersing yourself and allowing the benefit. Reason why Sandra is so good, she's doing the course and she actually applies what she does. I mean, and so she allows it to transform herself because she's willing to go deep with it. And that's the difference between a lot of people. Some people read a book and then they put it aside and they don't make a study of it. And you change going through processes. So if you do a program, while you're doing the program, if you do it and then come back to it, say a couple months later, and then you come back to it a couple months later, you just constantly transform in a way that you can't even begin to imagine. You just constantly do it. I have people who studied with me from the 70s on, who are still friends, still students, still colleagues, still whatever you want to say, can review the work and the programs that we did together, and they've done it for 40 years. And it's not because they need it, it's because they enjoy it and they continue the process of discovery, and their life is good and wonderful. And if they should need it, they know where to go. So I'm going to share one last thing, and that was that I've shared it before, I've talked about it a lot. When I went back to school as an adult versus when I was a teenager going to college, I left college with a D minus. I hated it. Didn't think I'd ever go back. Didn't want anything to do with it. The thought of 4 years to get a degree was just beyond my comprehension. When I was in my 30s, I decided, I wanted to go back and finish the degree that I had started. And left. So I would go to class. I structured my class so I was never in class before 9 or 10 in the morning, so that I could go into the cafeteria. And all of my classes, I would schedule an hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours apart, so that I could go to the cafeteria. So, say class started on a Monday, I would take my notes. On Wednesday, I would go to the cafeteria before the class and I would review my notes from Monday. Then I would take Wednesday's notes, and on Friday, I would review Monday and Wednesday's notes, and then take Friday's notes. And then the following Monday, I'd review Monday, Wednesday, and Friday's notes, and then take Monday's notes. And I did this through the semester. So by the time the semester was over, one, I knew where everything was in my notes. I knew them like the back of my hand. Two, I knew the material because I constantly repeated what I was learning and I was adding to it as I was going on. So, and I did this for each class. So I went from being a D minus student to an A plus student. And it wasn't because I was smarter, but I learned how to do things that made a difference for me. And that was review, repetition and review, consistent, persistent application of the material. I would then read the books, because they had text, and I learned also that some professors like to be tricky, so they would ask you for like photo caption questions, like on the picture of the oil rig, blah 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 blah. What was the point of the? If you hadn't read the book and you hadn't looked at the photo and you hadn't read the caption, you wouldn't know. So I would go through, and when I would read the text over, I would do very similar. I would go through the text. I would read all the bold headlines. I would look at all the 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 subheadings and things like that. Would look at all of the pictures and all of the captions, because everything was free, at least for a reason, to help illustrate or explain what's going on. So again, I would read with that purpose in mind, and I would read multiple times throughout the semester, and I knew where everything was in the book. So when it came time for pop quizzes or exams, I was always well prepared. And before I would go to bed at night before the exams, I would look over my notes. I would look over the exam, and I'd go to sleep. And if I couldn't sleep, I'd get back up and I'd look through the notes. I trust my that I would find what I needed to do in order to make sure I was material. And I go back to sleep. When I finally went back to sleep, I would just sleep. And then the next day I'd get up, I'd take the test. I felt confident and secure. I would take the test, and I did very, very well. But again, it wasn't because I was smarter, but I learned how to study, and I learned how to make the material my own and to understand it, as opposed to having, been exposed to it but not get it. But you can do that. And that's the point, that is reliable for you, because when you have a practice that's reliable, the default setting is so much higher than where you were at. I was a D minus. I became an A+ student. And so that's what we can do, and that's why I encourage people to get into the program, because when they do a program, they can do that. They can go back, they can revisit, they can correct, they can adjust, they can add to, they can review, and you get just so much more from it when you do that. And a lot of these programs today have fill in the blank books and things like that. That's memorization. That's not really helping you. It's the other stuff that's important. And so I'm gonna end here, but I want to thank Sandra for that invitation to talk a little bit about it, because it truly, truly is life transforming, life changing, in an incredibly exponential and powerful way. So I invite you to come join us. Come join Sandra in the NLP program, and you can join me. And I think that you will find just an amazing new journey opening up for you. All right, with that, I pass the mic. Thank you, Sandra.
Oh, thank you, Rex. And again, I really appreciate that. We don't do that enough, and I think it's very powerful. So thank you. And I want to come over to John and say thanks, John, for being so beautiful and patient and coming up on stage. And I want to also honor Renee and Notch and Juliana and Joanna and Abundance. Thank you for being here in our beautiful Mod Squad on stage. What a great, wonderful day it is today. And love to hear from John. What are you taking away? What is some action that you can do to move your life forward? Over to you, John, if you're still able. Thank you.
Thank you for the space, and happy holidays once it's and happy New Year's if I don't see you guys. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of crunch for time because I got an appointment at 1. I'm trying to stay as busy as possible. I'm not trying to worry about too many things. I think more worry brings more worry, first and foremost. I've tested that theory, and you know what? More worry comes right behind it. I try to take a lot of action, educate myself, develop myself any way I can. Little bits I can take here and there, and building in my own repertoire. You know, I feel like everybody's a chef, and you got to come up with your own ingredients, your own specialty. So it's really neat that you can be around very educational and experienced. I had a fortune cookie. It was funny because I thought about it. Fortune cookie told me, learn to listen to the wise. And as a young person growing up, I always feel that you want to be a know-it-all. And somebody told me that a couple of years later, it's like, John, you think you're a know-it-all? I'm like, well, I mean, you're not going to teach me, so I have to know as much as I can. It's possible. But I try to be wise, and I try to be humble and just listen to everybody say what they got to say, and take a little bit of their expertise from what they have said and their experience in their past, and use it in my own life and improve. So, like right now, I work with a financial firm. I got my own little agency. I'm growing. I got my team that I'm growing, helping families be financially literate. And not a lot of people out there have retirements going on. And I'm very worried about that. I have my 54-year-old cousin, he has no retirement plan. He has no retirement kind of funding for himself, and he's 11 years away from 65. So it's very important to have that financial fidelity kick in, because at the end of the day, it's very important to have a foundation for yourself once you hit a retirement age, and have that fund there to keep you going for the next couple of years until it's your time to clock out. So I find that very important to show people and educate them about the living benefits of life insurance policies and IULs, and setting them up with wills and trusts so they can leave a foundation for their families. So there's just so many factors, so many things, and so many avenues that I'm going down, just trying to absorb it all at once, like a buffet. Yeah, so I'm just blessed to actually express myself in this space, and I appreciate everybody for listening. And God bless to you guys and your family. I land my plane.
Awesome. Thank you, John. I was flashing for you. I love that. Thank you. And I appreciate what I love. I put in the chat too is the chef analogy, and taking in, growing, expanding, bringing even more resources from different people. And I'm glad you're here, because Rex is the master, and there's so much to be learned, so much opportunity. And so I just appreciate that you are here. So we're going to come to the end pretty quickly here, and I want to welcome everyone to come back tomorrow. If you're not already in the community, make sure you click on that link above and join the house. Rex is Celebrate Everything with Rex Sikes. And importantly, though, do not forget, please, go. It's free. You'll celebrate by getting the newsletter. Because if you can't make it to Clubhouse, so you have to go to work, you can still receive the newsletter, which has this blog post. And then just invite yourself just to grow in one thing each day, and then you'll look back at your life in 6 months from now and go, wow, have I ever changed? And you've made the choice to change. So just go to www.rexsikes.com and sign up for the free newsletter. Within that, there's so much goodness. There's the blog post that comes in. You can also just go to www.gratitudeactivator.com as well, like we do every day here. And then, as I said, just take the time, read it fully, feel it intensely, and then ask yourself, what is that one thing I can do each day? And it's step by step with the right consistent actions. You will transform the right mindset. You're going to bring in abundance. So many things will change for you. So that's the invitation each and every day, everyone. So, Rex, before we send this up and out, Slajan, do you have anything in your last final remarks, beautiful friend? And we're going to close the room up and out. Slajan, I just want to honor that space for you. Anything that's still percolating for you, friend?
Yes, thanks, Sandra. We can just proceeding with closing the room, and so we are going to continue that journey tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Slajan. And Rex, again, thank you. Our beautiful mentor. You are just a beautiful soul, and I'm blessed to know you and call you my mentor. So thank you, everyone. We will take this up as my friends Paul and Deanna always go. 8 is that wonderful place that we start. 9, we elevate our beautiful frequency. 10, we're celebrating the double digits, just imagining ourselves, what would life look like as we grow and we celebrate. And we take it to a number 11, because I love the number 11, with the divinity, with the source, and all that is our potential. Activate yourself now. Celebrate everything. And we'll see everyone tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Take care. Bye for now. Much love and blessings. We'll end the room now.